Welcome, everyone, to Fit the Gamer podcast, episode 14. I'm here this week with Steven Rodriguez. I'm Andrew Taylor. Ben Pilaginski.
How?
Jacob Frisch. Or wait, sorry, Jake.
Hey, how's it going?
Has anyone ever called you Jacob?
Just my parents when they're angry and people when they want to get on my bad side.
Don't you hate that?
Yep.
Anyways.
Hey, really quick, guys, guess what tomorrow is?
Oh, fuck. It's not 420. 420. Oh, May 1st.
It's gonna be May.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the worst. Liza's been making that joke all week.
And there's actually, if you look at the YouTube stats for that music video, it always spikes at the end of April.
Christ. Like, it took me a couple days to get it because I was like, what the I don't listen to... And I had to think about it, and I was like, okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw an Overwatch meme about it, too, because of the May thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be May.
Anyways, yeah, so we're here to talk about video games, obviously, like we usually do. Is this how you felt when you hosted the first time? You're like, fuck.
A little bit.
Because I remember you telling me how you were in the car.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And you're like,
I
got this down. And then you came and you're like, nope, I don't have this.
You just kind of got to let it happen.
It
Just
was,
take it naturally and just let it flow.
I almost went into what I was about to say, and I was like, I don't remember what I was going to say. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to this podcast. That's on iTunes.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome.
I think it was some like unboxing we did or something. You like told me a full intro, and then I literally got in front of the camera and was like, I don't remember what the fuck Ben told me to say. It happens.
That's fine. Anyways, so what have you guys been up to this week? It's been busy.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Overwatch this week with you.
Yeah,
Like,
we played a lot of Overwatch.
A couple nights at least.
Yeah.
And then
Been a good time.
played Battlefront last night and then another night this week, and I was just like, I just am bored. I don't know why.
You actually
Battlefield.
played Battlefront.
No, Battlefield.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
fuck.
wondering if that's what you meant to say.
No.
Yeah, that's how I kind
I
of
feel like if I
it.
went back to Battlefront, I would have been bored too.
No, I've been playing a lot of Battlefield. I'm still having fun, but I'm not playing any of the large games. I'm finding myself, if I'm playing Conquest or like Operations,
Rush.
super boring. But
Yeah.
on like Domination, Team Deathmatch, War Pigeons, where it's a lot more focused,
Yeah.
the games can be a lot of fun. It gets pretty hectic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem with Conquest is it's just super, super slow. And it's essentially the same thing over and over. You're just running from objective to objective around a giant map. And
Well, at least they fixed Frontlines,
they did fix Frontlines.
What did they do?
so it's not an hour
There's-
and a half anymore.
They have a 40-minute timer on it.
Oh,
Thank
my
God.
God. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was
Remember
awful.
that hour and a half long
I knew
match?
that's how it was going to turn out,
They
too.
had a lot of
brutal.
big
Jesus. It's
changes
like
with
the
the spring
last thing I
update
wanted to
in
do.
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, there were a couple things, like the whole platoon thing I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, the
It's
grenade,
basically just
grenade
clan
system.
tags for
Right.
from Call of Duty.
yeah. Yeah, they changed up the grenades.
Grenade
again.
timing, shit like that.
Really?
Which is good, yeah.
Grenades don't auto refill. You have to get them from ammo crates.
They don't do that anymore? They don't come back to you, the grenades?
Yeah, you have to be resupplied.
That's
Oh,
fine,
okay.
dude. I could never stay
I'm okay with
alive
that.
long enough to actually get the resupply, so.
And then they
Yeah.
have 4 new weapon variants you can try to unlock.
Yeah.
But you have to have the rank 10 weapons unlocked first. So if you're not at rank 10 with all your classes, good luck.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of grinding.
If you ever want to know anything about Battlefield, just go to Jake. Just ask him because he knows everything. He's always on top of all the updates. So, how about you? What have you been playing?
The past couple days, I've been playing Little Nightmares.
How is that?
It's really good. It's really good. I told Steven, I was like, man, this is the game for you.
It's awesome. Just from watching you play today, I'm like, this game looks awesome.
It's a lot
looks-
more graphic than I expected.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like blood?
They
Like,
leave, they
you
leave a
eat-
lot. Yeah, they leave a lot to the imagination, but what they make explicitly clear that they don't actually show is still very uncomfortable. Like,
Could you explain?
You
Like,
eat a
there-
live mouse.
yeah, you eat a live mouse, and at one point, like, you get caught by this big butcher dude.
Yeah. Or it was I think he's the janitor.
No, it was the second guy who had the cook hat on.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
He grabs
Oh,
you by the
yeah.
neck and he lays you down on a cutting board, and his hand goes up, and just as it's coming down with a giant cleaver, the screen goes to black and you respawn.
There's another part. If he catches you, he'll just throw you into a pot of boiling water.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's
Oh
just
my.
like they don't explicitly show it, but they like just cut it off right before it happens, so you know.
Yeah.
exactly what went on.
But
And,
it's a lot of good puzzles. That like there was a couple times where Jake and I found ourselves going, I'm not really quite sure what to do here, but then when you figure it out, it's kind of like, oh,
it's really satisfying.
yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, that was in front of me the whole time.
So it's kind of like Inside. Have
Yeah.
you played
Yeah.
Inside? Okay.
Yeah, very similar.
Speaking of Inside, I actually beat that last night at 5 a.m. So
Why were you up at 5 a.m?
because I could not fall asleep.
It's the weekend, man.
And I watched Pirates of the Caribbean 1. That movie still holds up, which is good.
So good.
It's a good one.
But Inside was really good. I enjoyed it very much. I know, Steven, you've talked about it before in the past, giving it the high praise, which I do believe that it does deserve. And it kind of does go hand in hand with what we're talking today about is stories in video games. So no words spoken throughout the whole video game, basically just interaction with the environment. It's a really good game, and I think everyone should play it. I got it for like $8 on PSN on like one of their flash sales, so I don't know if they're going to do that again. They do them all the time, so I'm sure it'll be back. But yeah, I really encourage people to try that game. It's like a 4-hour, 5-hour game.
Oh, that's not bad at
I
all.
played it like over like a couple. Well, I started it like 2 weeks ago, and then I stopped, and then I like played again, and I beat it like in the last couple days. So, I mean, it's like a 5-hour long experience. And if you're like looking for secrets because there's collectibles and stuff that you can find, then it's just going to take longer. But I'm that kind of person with those kind of games. So, but I really enjoyed the experience. I'm glad that you kind of talked about it that one time because I think you really encouraged me to buy it and play it because I wasn't a big fan of Limbo. And did you play Limbo?
I played Limbo after I beat Inside, and I did not like Limbo very much.
No.
Just didn't. It's not as, I don't know what it is. I don't think it just picks up the way that Inside does. Inside is literally like your character hits the ground and you're just literally running, like literally. So Limbo was kind of just like very slow paced, and Limbo in my mind, Limbo is a little more confusing with like a lot of the puzzles, and I just struggled right away. I was like, and honestly, I bought it for iOS once it came out, so that
the
could
ending
be something.
Of Limbo was just weird too. Like,
The ending
I don't
of
know.
Limbo?
Yeah,
I've never beaten
it just felt like the game just sort of ends, and you're like, I feel like this was it was supposed to be leading to something bigger, because it's about a little boy trying to find his sister, and I don't know, the way they ended it, I was just like, whatever. I have no desire to play that game again.
Yeah. I'd say, like, for me, Inside's one of those games where it's like you play it once and then you pretty much never have to play it again. And it's not because you don't want to play it again. It's just like it won't be the same experience as the first time you've played it.
Right.
And Journey's the same way. Like, I never want to play Journey ever again.
Yeah, man,
Like,
don't stop believing.
And that, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually never want to hear that song again either. But that game is like it's a 2-hour long experience, and it's not hard. I think everyone should take the time to play that game. Sit down like one night, play it. It's just a really easy game to get through, and I think it's one of those games. Same with Inside, where the ending is something that you can interpret it yourself, because there are no words that are spoken and nothing like that. So there's no narrative, spoken. But like you yourself, the player, are the one who determines what the narrative is, essentially, in your mind.
Well, just like, I don't know if you've ever watched the speed runs of Gone Home.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
And Gone Home's the same way
Yeah,
too. Well,
you can technically beat Gone Home in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it could take you hours.
Yeah.
Well, probably not more than like 2 or 3.
Yeah. But that's also
still.
another game I really think people should play too,
Yeah.
especially with the message. And I don't want to spoil it, but with the message that it tells and the story that it tells, like, I think that's something. It's really important for people to get, to find some sort of medium to, kind of get that message across. And I think Gone Home does that really well. So I think people should play that game too. But don't speedrun. That game's like probably a 2-hour long game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think any longer than that. But yeah, anyone else play anything besides that kind of stuff, or you played Little Nightmare?
I play Little Nightmares. I was playing Injustice yesterday.
Okay.
God,
Are you excited
does
for
not-
Injustice 2?
I am. Injustice 1 does not hold up on a PS4.
I played it like a month ago. Yeah, I agree with you.
It-
It's not good.
Like, if it was PS3, like, I could definitely see why people were hyped up about it. But when you're on PS4, man,
I played it on 360.
it
the original, yeah.
it like drops like 30 frames, maybe lower than
Yeah.
that. Like,
It doesn't look pretty either.
it doesn't look pretty. But the next one does look. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
Yeah. You know, I'm a Marvel fanboy, but I'm really not excited for like the new Marvel Capcom game. But I don't know why. Just because.
Dude, the Mega Man looks legit.
That's true. And that's a $200 collector edition if you want 4 statues.
There's another one that actually has Planet Hulk
Oh god.
and Thor.
How much is that?
Probably 100.
Oh, only 2 characters you get?
No,
The
it's
statues?
that Planet Thor, Evil Ryu.
Oh, okay.
Is the other
Well,
one.
I'm sure it'll be over on that. You know.
Travis will get both.
Oh yeah, we'll see it. We'll do an unboxing for sure.
We'll do.
By the way, I think we can spill the beans now because Travis has been playing Mario
Fuck.
Kart.
Yeah.
But
Travis played. Mine.
Andrew and I made a bet, and
I bet
You won, didn't you?
I did.
He
Nice.
won.
I did.
It probably happened the day after we made the bet too.
Yeah.
It was the day of or the day after.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, it was
Well,
close.
whatever day we made that bet, he came home the day Mario Kart came out and
Yeah.
fired
it was
it up.
done
and
from there.
Dunzo. He
Andrew was
walked
done.
over and he originally walked over and grabbed it off the counter, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I got Mario Kart, bro." And I was
Double,
like,
double or
"Sick."
nothing. How long does he play it for?
Cart?
I think he played it last night. I think
yeah,
he,
but
Yeah.
how,
Did a
does he
lot.
play it for a week and then puts it back down?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Time will tell.
This is me issuing a challenge to anybody listening right now. I will destroy you in Mario Kart.
Says the guy that doesn't have a Switch.
I don't have a Switch yet. Doesn't matter. You name the game, the console. Doesn't matter if it has the word Mario Kart in it.
Damn.
I will take you out.
Wait,
Yeah.
time out. You said it doesn't matter the name.
Doesn't matter the name.
Zelda.
Doesn't matter the name.
It's Mario Kart.
Whatever that means.
Could be Mario Kart.
I'm not
Double
100%
Dash.
sure what that means.
It could be
but
64.
Doesn't matter the name, y'all. Anyways,
Remember the
Mario
name.
Odyssey.
So
Jesus Christ.
I want to touch on something real quick. I didn't have any time to game this week.
No,
I didn't
I
play
figured.
1 second of video games, which sucks. It's the first time in a long time.
You've been
But
playing the game of life.
exactly.
Great
You gotta
game.
admit,
Not the board game either.
No.
Sarah got
'Cause
a
the
new
bo-
car.
No.
She did. She got us dope Jeep Grand Cherokee last night.
Yeah.
Thing's loaded.
That
I was driving that thing this
She's a soccer
morning.
mom
Thing's gonna
now.
rust.
I was like, dude, we'll see. Time will tell.
Jeep's rust.
So anyhow, thank you, Jake, for that positive encouragement.
No, I'm kidding.
Um,
Jeeps are awesome. As long as you didn't buy them in like 2000.
Now that Call of Duty has been actually revealed,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
it was
shit.
revealed on the day we released our podcast, what do you guys think about the trailer?
Yeah.
What are you guys?
Which-
yeah, I guess just what do you guys think about the trailer?
It didn't get me excited as I thought it was
No.
going to.
I'm completely underwhelmed.
Yes and no, yeah, for
It,
sure.
it looks cool. I'm excited at the prospect of like the new game mode war that they talked about, where it's like attack and defend style of like big battles of World War II. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited to storm the beach at Normandy and to like fight in the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
But the single player campaign, I was just like, there was just that crazy hype feeling we got when we all saw the Battlefield 1 trailer.
Mhm.
And I didn't get that with this at all. It was like,
So-
and I felt bad because I'm like, I should really be excited for this because it's the first like next gen AAA World War II game that we've ever had.
Right. There's two sides of me to this. One side of me that is agreeing with you, and I was watching a stupid YouTube video about the disappointment of Mass Effect, and how one of the creators was complaining about how hard it is to duplicate facial animations. And then one guy was saying maybe the reason it's so hard to duplicate facial animations such as Tarkin in Star Wars is because it's literally just something that we see so much that even as good as it looks in video games and movies nowadays, it still doesn't look right because we watch each other talk every
It's
single
called
day.
the uncanny valley when something is just slightly off.
Just slightly off.
Yeah,
So
you can tell, and it bothers us to a actual intrinsic level. Like,
there's part of me that is like, I see the Call of Duty trailer and it's World War II and it's an era that I really, really truthfully love. And the more and more I thought about it, and I read a tweet that Andrew tweeted out about story, and I looked at some more screenshots of the game. I'm truthfully really excited for it. But at the same time, with you in the trailer, I saw the trailer, and there's a lot of animations and things that are in the game that is like what every Call of Duty game has, where it just doesn't quite look real to me. In the Battlefield 1, the game, the trailer, like every single thing they do for some reason just looks so natural. And that trailer just got me so hyped, because it just, I don't know, it just looked right. Like I don't know if,
dude, every
the
time
Battlefield 1 trailer. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but like,
No, it does.
yeah, I get it. Every time I step into Battlefield, it's one of those things where I look at it, I'm like, this is a really nice looking game. Like all of the textures and how things even fall apart. The war itself and you taking on all these other people, it feels really nice versus all of the Call of Duty games
Running
are really,
gun.
they're really fast paced. There's not vehicles. It's all close quarters. So I'm interested to see if it is that war, that the war, whatever thing that they're talking about, or if it's going to be just a big team battle where it's 32 on 32, because they see that is actually taking off on Battlefield too.
which it is. And if they do have that and do it the way that they're talking, it literally changes the way that Call of Duty, every single Call of Duty game before that has ever played and been created, because it is following the Battlefield type game mode, and Call of Duty has never had that.
It sounds, from everything that they've talked about, that they're adding to the multiplayer, and again, we haven't seen shit yet because they're saving that. But from everything that they've said so far, I'm encouraged. But I'm still at a point where I'm like, you'll need to prove it.
Yeah.
I need to see game footage. Want to hear some reports about how it feels, and my kind of final impression of it, like the difference between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty, I felt with the trailers for Battlefield 1, it was more like obviously there's no like story campaign that follows one group of people like this Call of Duty game is going to do, but it was just snapshots of the war. And it was like the war itself was like the character in Battlefield 1, because and with Call of Duty, I just kind of felt like it was just another like squad of soldiers. Yes, it's World War II, and they're going to be treating it differently because it's events that actually happen, but it's just another group of soldiers, like, no mission too difficult, no sacrifice too large, hoorah,
And that's it. Right. That's all you get from the trailer. I'm really happy that they got Josh Duhamel as the main, character. I think that's something we can assume by the trailer. I think he's a good actor. Obviously, he's been in. I like him in Transformers. There's a lot of aspects of those movies that suck, but I think he's a pretty good actor. But like you said, there's a lot of ooh-rah-rah like bullshit in the trailer, and in the Battlefield trailer, there was a lot more like emotional connection, a lot more soft side to these characters, which helps you connect with them more.
Right.
And
it wasn't just
we're gonna
like,
have to wait and see.
We're gonna go in and kick some Nazi ass.
Yeah. Another thing too is, and I think I said this to you guys, is it felt like we already seen it with World at War. It just looked like a revamped World at War trailer, and I was just kind of looking at it going, this has been done. You guys have done this before. But I'm happy to hear that they are solely focusing on just one character instead of them saying, I think it was in pretty much all the past Call of Duties, it was like, you're going to start as this character here, then we're going to go across country or wherever to over here. But to see that they're just going to stick with one character and go through a solid timeline, and then also on top of that, they're going to have a different co-op story.
Yeah.
I think that's
pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Nazi zombies are back, which I know a lot of people are excited for. We'll see as more information comes out in this game. I'm sure this is probably going to be the biggest selling game of the year as far as numbers go.
Yeah, I'm excited just because Sledgehammer's making it.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I mean, I have way too much faith in those guys based on Advanced Warfare.
It was really cool seeing the big red one back too.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Because the characters in the game, you're going to be playing in the 1st Infantry Division, with the big red one. If you notice on the trailer,
I did not.
They were called that division because they had a large red number 1. Yeah.
Nice eye. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Basically, for me, the trailer was released because like it's just to get you hyped up. There's really no other reason why they just put a trailer out with like no gameplay. It was just snippets of cutscenes basically, which is like fine. You know, obviously what we want is to see what the gameplay is going to be like.
But the trailer said in-game footage, so that's what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it when games say that, to be honest. But I mean, like, yeah, here and there's aspects, but like, anyways. But I hope like the gameplay is great, you know. But for me, it's all about story, and if you know the story is good, then that's. You know, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want, is just a good story. You know, something that I can remember, just because like the last few like Call of Duty stories haven't really been anything like special. Like Infinite Warfare was cool and all, but it was like, okay, Jon Snow's just
in space,
fucking up Earth, like that's it, and like that was about it. But like the
Conor
thing,
McGregor also in that game 3 times
for about like 2 seconds for no good reason. He like punches you in the face, and that's like
he's actually in there 3 times
as like 3 different characters.
Yes,
which is. Why?
So he's that guy, and then he's a guy that you killed, and then he's a guy that's on your team.
God, that's so weird.
There's Conor McGregor's everywhere. Really
Yeah.
quick.
Fuck. Sure.
When you were saying about when trailers say, you know, in-game footage, I was watching some of the like actual Battlefield 1 trailers, like they had a Gamescom of the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is the actual gameplay from the multiplayer. Well, one thing I always notice when they do that, whether it's Call of Duty or Battlefield or Battlefront, they're so scripted still. You see, like, these tanks driving in formation,
Exactly.
like people on horses in formation charging across, like, a field.
God, if
And
that
they're-
was a thing, that
it's
would be
so scripted.
so...
I'm like, that would be... They get you hyped. You watch those trailers, and you're like, I can't wait to play this game.
I'm gonna call out this
and
on
then
my
you see
team.
a dude in a tank. You see, like, Steven crashing a plane
Yeah,
directly
like-
into the ground.
A dude
Tanks
crashed
driving
on
in
a horse,
circles,
wow.
yeah.
It
People
might
on
be-
horses just like stopping because there's a fence this big, like, and you're just like, oh, come on! How cool would it be to play like a game where somehow they were able to, like, everyone
Like,
on the field
have
were
it
just like,
that
yes,
scripted?
like,
God.
like in Overwatch last night when we were like, we're all gonna charge, and we all charged at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, if we could
It's badass.
do that in Battlefield, but
All of us would be like, all right, Steven, go ahead on the tank. I'm going to go this way, actually. Andrew, plane. And...
Yeah, see, like, yeah, that's the thing. I just hate it when they say in-game footage,
Yeah.
because, like, we get it, like, it's in-game footage, but it's scripted as fuck. So,
right.
yeah, it's kind of upsetting. But, yeah, I am excited for Call of Duty World War II. I'm with Steven. Favorite era of just American history for me, to be honest. I like Josh Duhamel a lot. I think he's a good actor. But yeah, this trailer was really nothing but to just get us hyped. But I'm sure we'll see a shit ton of stuff at E3. And, you know, when that beta comes out, I'm sure we'll play it and, you know, have a good time and be able to kind of give our prejudgments before the official game comes out and, you know, maybe critique it a little bit. Obviously,
It's a long ways out.
Yeah, it's a ways, but yeah, I'm excited to
Half a year.
play the beta and see what it's like. I think what you were saying about you know, them trying to kind of emulate what Battlefield's doing with like the big battles and stuff like that. I think they're seeing the success of Battlefield, and then they want to, you know, with this Call of Duty, obviously you're not going to have booster packs, and you're not going to have fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck like
Shields
Infinite
and-
Warfare has,
yeah.
like all this like just unnecessary.
Grappling
Like
hooks.
this is a grounded experience. You know, you might.
Oh, they said that plenty of
Yeah.
time. This is
Boots on the ground.
boots on the ground
Boots on the
gameplay.
Take a shot for every time they say boots on the ground or the game that Call of Duty fans have been waiting for.
Yeah.
You would have been
They do
drunk
that every.
5 minutes
They
in.
do that every conference. So.
Yeah.
But I think if they can be successful with like those big battles, I think that'd be really, really,
Yeah.
really, really fun.
I'm in.
Because we have that fun with Battlefield 1. I'd like to see what Call of Duty does. So, anyways, moving on from that, we'll kind of move into our main topic. As I was talking about earlier, I was talking about stories inside. So this week, or this past week, I can't remember what day it was. Atlantic, I believe. I think you had it pulled up there, Stephen.
The Atlantic.
The Atlantic
Ocean.
publication, whatever. I don't read much from them, but The Atlantic, they posted an article saying video games are better not as stories. Is that correct? Or better without stories. So false. That's That's not true right off the bat. That's because within the last few years, we've had some of the best video game narratives and stories I think that we've ever had, and I think at this point we're just going to be going up from here. So I kind of want to just like touch on basically the things they said like in the article, and something that kind of upset me was that they only touched on one genre, and that was like walking sims. And it's like you can't just pin this argument against one genre.
Yeah, that would be like if
game.
Someone played a fighting game was like the
Exactly.
story was shit.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't do that. I mean, I get it. Not everyone's a big fan of walking around and looking at shit and interacting with it. Personally, me, I love that shit. But
I played the Stanley Parable for like an hour today.
Oh
Yeah.
God, he did.
yeah.
Have you played that game?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No. Is it fun?
Yeah, it's essentially a walking simulator where this dude is narrating what your life, but you'll be he'd be like 2 doors were open in the office, and Stanley chose to go through the left door, but you can go through the right door, and then it completely changes everything, and the narrator like talks.
If you ever played Bastion, that's like that too, where the narrator is like narrating what you're doing. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the article is saying that video games are better without stories, and it also stated that some of the stories that that are being told in video games today are adolescent and meant for a younger audience, and I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Were they playing like Lego Batman?
I have no idea.
This
then
walking
they would be
sim
correct.
is so
They mentioned
so
like
unrealistic.
they mentioned like BioShock in there, and I was like, that's not a
That's based on the works of
Yeah.
Ayn Rand.
exactly. That's not like a story that you go ahead and tell your little child before
No.
you go to bed. But
No.
they
Let's talk about
correct me
capitalism.
if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form. But like from what I read, it was just them not really understanding video games altogether, and like the way that narrative works with video games. Now, me personally, when it comes to telling a story, video games is like right up there, top of the list when it comes to telling a good story. Same with books. I think books are really good at that too, just because it's not a 2-hour long experience like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
A movie, you're cramming everything in there. Most of the time, a movie's hit or miss. It just depends on who's writing the movie, I feel like. So, it could be a really good narrative, but then like the pacing's all off. You know what I mean? So like that kind of thing. That's why movies are so. I'm so like anal about movies now, because if it's like something like Assassin's Creed, like I don't want to watch that because I already know that the story is probably not good. And it's a video game movie.
There's
speaking of video games, but
yeah, I think there's something to be said about the interactivity that video games present.
Yeah.
In the fact that unlike any other medium that they're in, the only thing that's even close is something like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
Which really aren't a thing anymore. And when they are, they're usually kids' books. But
Yeah, go Goosebumps.
to have the player of a video game be able to, whether it, stop doing that eyebrow thing. You're not The Rock. The people's
A man
eyebrow.
can wish.
Yeah, exactly. You completely made me lose my train of thought. You son of a bitch.
You were talking. I can't even remember what you were talking about.
Okay, video games. Whether it's you taking the like a faceless avatar character, like in
Like
Skyrim,
Inside.
or Inside,
Yeah.
or even BioShock, to a game where you're playing an established character like The Last of Us or Uncharted, something like that. Like to feel like you are in control of the story.
Yeah.
When that's so huge, where the decisions you're making in the game, like for example, my favorite video game of all time, BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Not a game that's actually full of tangible player choices where like you can go route A or you can go route B. You're just really being funneled down one route. It's pretty scripted, but the way they present the story and the way you're interacting with the world makes it feel like you are still the catalyst for driving that story forward, that the decisions that I have made have impacted what I'm doing now. And you don't really necessarily get that with a movie or even a book or a television series, because there it's like you're along for the ride and you're just watching or reading the events unfolding versus actually that's why video games are art. They present a story in a very interactive way to the player, but they also combine, solid script writing, direction, music, art, visuals, everything. That is why there's so much more involved. I mean, than I think some other mediums. Not to bash those mediums either, or say that they're any less, but I just think video games in a lot of ways sometimes take it up a notch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially the big AAA, like Uncharted. I mean,
right.
That's why they're always talking about adapting these damn games into movies, because
they shouldn't do that.
But they can't. We've talked about that.
Right.
But
I think that, I've said this in an episode before, but I truthfully believe that storytelling in video games is, in my mind, the best way of storytelling.
Yep.
It is the most interactive for me, obviously. I mean, most people probably say that you don't go to a movie and have any like personal interaction with it. You just sit there and watch it. Video games, you put 5, 10, 100 hours into it and build a relationship with the characters in the game. Obviously, there's some games where you can choose your own, like, which route you want to go, and there's some games you can't. It's unfortunate that this article is just, it's a writer who has an opinion on something, and we've talked about this in episodes where somebody just believes their opinion is screw everybody else, obviously. But he just thinks that everything should just be completely open world, absolutely no story. Video games that try and tell stories do a bad job. And so if you read the comments on this article, there's people who are talking about like there are open world games that you can go play GTA, go play, a lot of the games like what's that?
The
game?
Witcher.
The Witcher. They're talking about that Las Vegas game.
Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout. They were talking about the Fallout games. They're just like literally just go play like games like that. They're so open, like you do whatever you want for the most part. But I mean, you bring up Uncharted. Uncharted for me is like Uncharted 4 is one of my favorite stories that I've ever watched a movie, played a video game, read a book. Like that one just kind of wrapped it all up for the entire series. And maybe it's just because I don't get super drawn into like video game series as much, but that was one that I stuck with, and I mean the ending blew me away. But also The Last of Us. We've talked about The Last of Us like so many times. And the director of that game,
Neil Druckmann, he actually retweeted this article like saying how ridiculous this is. Like this does not hold up with a lot of the games that are out now. If you would have said this, back
when we had was Mario Bros and Duck Hunt and Donkey Kong.
Right, or
those games
Spiral
don't have
or
stories,
something.
right.
Like even PS1, like you'd be like, oh yeah, they're just ridiculous. Like now it's like it is a fucking movie. Like these companies put $100 million into developing these games. Like I don't know. It's just kind of silly. Like I said, he has his opinion, we have ours, but in my mind, like I truthfully love the interaction that in the time and devotion you put into a game compared to a movie. And there is a great feeling that going to a really good movie gives me when I walk out of the movie. I'm like, oh shit, like I can go and take on the world or some shit. But Transformers, that's how I felt walking out of that. No, I'm just kidding.
Reading that article, I only got a little bit of the way through
You can
it.
skim it through.
Yeah,
It basically just repeats itself.
Yeah, I was just like obviously we all disagree with him, and it's his opinion. I don't want to rake this dude through the mud for having an opinion, obviously.
Being bogus.
But at the same
you.
time, I'm like, I think it is complete horseshit, just because there wasn't any logical reason behind his argument that I could even be like.
He was focusing on one genre.
Yeah, right. And there was very little that I could be like, I disagree with that, but I can see why you would think this and where you're coming from. Have a little empathy towards that. I just couldn't empathize with his point of view. I'm like,
I also think
I think he might be a sociopath.
I also think that's I also think it's kind of a weird thing to pick on, because I feel like the walking simulators are the ones that have the most story. Yeah. Even if you go back to one of my favorite games, Knights of the Old Republic, not only did that have a huge story, but it also had a path you could choose.
Yeah.
And it
You're the vessel.
Yeah, it made the ending different, which depending on which way you went. Same thing with Mass Effect. It's a very strange genre to go against, and I mean, like we said, fighters, those don't. They do, but they don't really have.
Well,
a
like
story.
Injustice, there is a story in Injustice, and it's fed to you via cutscene.
Yeah.
You know,
Cutscenes, and then they have the
Right.
comics too that you can, obviously
Right.
read. But
Yep.
But like Gone Home, for example, we were talking about that earlier. It's a walking simulator, and you can beat the game in half an hour if you or somehow
if you so choose.
if you so choose, or it can take you a couple hours. And the thing is, games like that, I feel like they don't spoon feed you in the same way that a movie can spoon feed you, or a TV show, or even a book can spoon feed you the story. Like in the video game in Gone Home, or even BioShock, you have to go around the world and go out of your way sometimes to pick up little clues about what's going on. That's half the fun, because you could play Gone Home, finish it in half an hour, and be like, that was stupid, I don't know what happened. But if you actually took the time to work for
because
it,
you can open up pretty much any dresser, like whatever, and you're finding just little pieces here and there, and it just adds on to the story. So I mean, like, I don't see why. I feel like walking simulators are probably some of the best storytellers, because you're slowing things down for the person to interact and like find more information out about like what's going on.
You're taking your own pace.
Yeah.
who here has played a Telltale game
Me,
of
like,
any kind?
bunch of them.
We all have. Yeah.
That'd be the Batman one.
Like The Walking Dead and Batman.
The first episode.
I mean, those games really, I feel like, are at the time, especially when they first came out with The Walking Dead, it was game changing. It was like, this is a video game that's being presented almost like a long form television show, where they're releasing episodes and you choose your own path, literally, and things that you choose in episode 1 might come back to haunt you 4 episodes later. I mean, like, that is storytelling, and to be able, from just a level of writing it, being like, okay, we need to figure out the story, how it's going to fit in based on 100,000 different scenarios depending what the players does, and that just blows my mind how they are able to fit that jigsaw puzzle together to create 100 different options just based on one dialogue decision. To be able to curate a story like that, like, that's crazy impressive. I don't think I could do that. It's hard enough coming up with one story, let alone 12 in one game.
It's scripted, but it's like you choose basically which path you want that script story to go. You know what I mean? So like the writers and the developers and all that, they give you those choices to basically tell your own story. And if you want to go back and make the opposite decision to see what happens later on, you can definitely do that. Like, I think that's great. I think Telltale is really good at telling those stories and allowing you to make the choice for yourself, and then whenever you want to go back and see what else, see the different path, then you can definitely do that. So I think that's really cool how they do that.
Definitely. You brought up Inside earlier in this episode, and I told you this morning I was going to talk about this a little bit, but you take Inside, which is a game that literally has 0 dialogue, not one single word in it, and to have such a deep story, to have like an ending that it basically, as I told Andrew this morning, we kind of talked about his take on him finishing the game this morning. It's a game that you get to the end and you're like, what exactly did that mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought about what I thought it meant, and then I went online and read other people's impressions of, analyzing each level, analyzing parts of the game and being like, this is what this level meant. Maybe this comes back in the end, and why this kid is So you think about a movie that doesn't have any words in it, and think about what that movie would be like if it didn't have any words in it, and how good it would be. Because I personally have never seen in my life, I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure people are like, oh yeah, I love that movie, but I've never seen a movie that didn't have any words in it and was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Like, this is a game that drew me in so much that I own it on PC and PlayStation. I've played it, I'm on my 3rd playthrough right now. So it's like, I know what's going to happen, but I still want to keep going into it and analyzing each level. Like, there's a level where somebody is like, well, the conclusion you get at the end, I don't want to spoil it for you guys in case you guys wanted to play it, but somebody's like, with the conclusion you get at the end, at the beginning of the very first level, when he's running through the forest, you can actually see power lines connecting to trees. And that's why this person was like, this is why I think at the very end, it's based off of literally power lines off of the trees. So it kind of goes into what I talked to you about this morning and how I analyze my version of the ending.
Yeah.
So that's why I just like storytelling in video games is, I just think it's the best, you guys.
I think that if you were into video games and you play video games, even quote unquote casually, you know that there are games that tell really good stories.
Yeah.
I'm curious, you know, on the mainstream media's view of video games seems to be all over the place, because on one hand, video games and nerd culture in general are becoming so popular among the masses, but at the same time, there still is, you know, people arguing about the violence in video games. And to your point, Steven, about like, you know, everyone's almost has a different interpretation of the end of Inside, where it kind of does make you and your brain do a lot of work. I feel like that does turn some people off. Like, I know people like art house films, for example, that make you do a lot of thinking of like, what does this actually mean? What, you know, is it all metaphor, blah, blah, blah. Some people just want to be, and I know people like this, they just want to be spoon-fed something.
They're conditioned
Yeah,
that
like
way, though.
this is, yeah, it's black and white.
Yeah.
I just want to see a story about robots fighting other robots. These are the good robots and these are the bad robots, and you know,
Yeah,
and they don't want to go for that higher
there's people out there like that.
It's old
art.
under 4 movies.
Right. So I would just be curious to see. I think again, the majority of people in video games would say that article is BS.
Yeah.
But if you were just to go around on the streets and to people of all different ages and backgrounds, and like, do you think video games are a good medium to tell a story?
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that, I mean, if you're not, you know, well knowledged with the way that video games are now, then a lot of people would just be like, well, it's just Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Because that's what they see on TV. But they don't see ads for something like Inside.
Yeah.
Or for Journey or anything like that. So they'll
Granted,
never
FIFA's
know.
got a story mode now.
That's
FIFA?
that's so funny. I literally
FIFA
just saw
does?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the new FIFA game that's coming out or
Come up
is
with
out.
It's out.
Yeah, has a career mode where you take control of an actual character they created, and like
Try and get him on like teams or
Yeah.
some shit.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
You're
it's
like
like
playing
a
in like
full
the
career.
favela, and
Yeah,
then you, like,
it's not just like because in the past they've always had like the create a player mode that's very generic, but they actually did a story with like motion capture and like cutscenes and stuff like that. So it's like these big sports games. It's like now that EA did that with FIFA, you know,
Well,
they do that with Madden or.
Well, we could talk about 2K, NBA 2K16,
Like manager
17.
or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
well, they had like a legitimate story mode where,
my
Same
crib.
same concept, I
Yeah.
think, as
Yeah.
FIFA.
yeah, it was
Travis would know.
Spike Lee, I think, is who.
Spike Lee joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
No,
was-
I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that.
And yeah, it's the same kind of thing there. And I remember watching Abu play it, and I was like, I am Abu. That is
Abu.
it's an interesting concept because
Yeah.
you don't really see that too much, except for NFL Blitz the League.
Dude, did you play the one on Xbox 360?
Yes,
Oh, that is the league. NFL Blitz the league. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
The really violent one?
Yeah, that
and
one
then,
is
like
cool.
they had like steroids and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And, like you would get tested, and I was like, this is how football is.
Hey. Fuck. It's really tough. So I just really want to focus. Like it's so hard to look at this guy's article and be like, this is complete bullshit, because it's kind of like somebody reading one book and being like,
This is
books
how
are
all books
terrible
are, right.
Yeah.
at telling stories.
Or else like starting off like in a middle book, and you're like, I have no fucking idea
That's
what's going on.
That's like showing someone the first Star Wars movie and then being them being like, must be what all Star Wars movies are like. It's just all Jar Jar Binks and tiny children with terrible dialogue and Watto.
I'm sure there literally are people out there. I mean, this is a point of, like, somebody sees one thing or, like, goes off of one opinion and is like, all of this sucks.
Right.
Like, I don't play one shitty Madden game. Like, all sports games suck.
Right.
Like, Madden maybe not be very good right now, but doesn't mean 2K football wasn't good or
None
the
of the
Blitz.
EA.
Dude, backyard
that
football. Pablo.
Little Pablo.
Little
Pablo,
Pablo.
I also
Pablo
really
Sanchez is the
like
man.
whatever. Pablo is obviously like the hero of that game. Whatever that little wheelchair kid, he was one of my favorite characters as well.
Oh yeah, the guy from Malcolm in the
Started
Middle.
from the bottom.
No,
I love that kid.
not wheelchair Jimmy from Degrassi.
No.
Jesus Christ.
So, if you could... Oh, is that from...
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, that kid. What the fuck happened to that dude?
Probably.
What
died.
was his issue?
Oh, Kenny Kawaguchi.
Yeah.
How foolish of me.
Yeah,
You
he-
idiot.
He like had some super moves with his wheelchair where he would like.
He was a 4 out of 4 baseballs out of 4 baseballs at pitching. So
Perfect.
don't let the wheelchair fool you. Kenny is a fantastic ball player. He is sure-handed outfielder and a speedy base wheeler.
Nobody likes it when he slides.
Base wheeler. instead of
Someone's
base
made a
runner.
backstory for him.
Oh my gosh, I love these games.
Yeah.
Pablo Sanchez is the greatest video game character ever made. Even better than Madden 04 Michael Vick. But anyway.
The cheat code.
No, I was gonna say
Sorry.
I still think a lot of people do care about story because look at Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Came out in the end of 2015. It didn't have a single player story campaign and everybody lost their goddamn minds.
I didn't mind.
Yeah, I didn't really mind either. At the same time, I did mind, but when people were like, oh, Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, not the Battlefront 2 that's coming out, that's super confusing. The PS2 and Xbox Battlefront 2 had a campaign mode, but it wasn't really a campaign mode. It was the regular gameplay against AI bots.
That's all it was.
With cutscenes of dialogue, just dialogue in between. That was the campaign. It was super lame.
Jake, that's how war is.
no,
Okay? It's
I
you
loved-
versus somebody else.
Yeah, I loved when Battlefront came out a couple years ago, and everyone's like, "But Battlefront 2 had like this story," and I was like, "No." Like,
it
it did
didn't.
not have a story,
No.
like, at all. You can lie to yourself.
Yeah.
I know you're
It was just a
upset.
clone trooper being like, Fluge was hell. There were a lot of droids. We fought.
I drank my own urine 5 times.
Lord Vader.
Oh my God. Did you guys see? Sorry, super unrelated note. Did you see that new John Cena movie, The Sniper? Or it's called
Oh,
The Wall.
Yeah, with
Oh,
That
Kick-Ass.
looks so good.
I actually thought,
What?
it was like
Yeah,
He-
so
it's like an actual war movie
It's
where
John
it
Cena and the guy who plays
John
Kick-Ass
Cena
and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
looks good, dude.
And-
I'll go
Aaron
see that.
Johnson Taylor. I don't remember his name.
Andrew Taylor Johnson.
Yep, that's me. It's
Hey,
just called The
that's
Wall.
you. You're in that movie?
Anyways, one particular story that I would like to touch on that basically changed my video game ecosystem completely. I switched from
Viva
Xbox, Viva Pinata. That was it, baby.
Is there a story mode in that?
I don't know. Fuck if I know. But was The Last of Us. Me personally, best story of this last generation. I don't want to get too far into it. I know it's been out for a few years, but if you haven't played the game, I implore you, please, 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 if you have a way, just spend the time, spend like a couple weeks, play it on easy, whatever, and just enjoy the story for what it is. It will basically just emotionally destroy you. About a man who loses everything and then gains something, and
You just described like every movie ever.
no, I know, but like, and I know every country song ever, basically. But
Fuck, man, you
that's
could be
genius.
describing Spawn right
Yeah,
now for all
basically.
I know.
but like, it's about the journey, and I think that game really gave us like a journey to like remember when it comes to video games. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like did that game like not emotionally ruin you at the end? Like, because that ending,
Honestly-
I don't
honestly,
want to get into that.
Bioshock Infinite
Gave
fucked
you-
me up more.
for sure.
but
yeah.
that was just because Bioshock Infinite dealt with
Had like 5 different endings.
it affected me in different ways. Bioshock Infinite was just blew my mind because it was like multiverse theory.
Yeah.
And this is all connected.
It was
and
very
it's super
scientific.
Weird. Right. Whereas with like
Last of Us is grounded.
yeah, and where Last of Us hit me more of like, oh god, this would suck. This would suck so much.
Yeah.
With again, Bioshock was just like, wait. So you're telling me that there's infinite realities and infinite versions of myself doing weird shit? Like there's a reality right now where Ben is Asian.
Yeah, that's this one.
He's Asian, y'all.
Oh my.
And I'm Never mind. Anyway, this is going off the rails.
I see
But
what
I see
you're
what you're
saying.
saying.
Yeah. And I think that's like Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is the best, I think, at really
Grounded stories.
playing on human like the actual fierce, visceral human emotions
Yeah,
that
dude.
we have.
Crash Bandicoot fucked me up.
Crash
You know what I'm saying?
Bandicoot
Crash Bandicoot Racing.
is Crash Team Racing has the most beautiful story I think ever told
Yeah.
in video games. Like there's nothing else that comes close.
Yeah.
So
And if you can't tell I'm being sarcastic,
fuck off.
yeah, it's
Just
fuck.
go. Just kidding.
First of all, can you guys buy Viva Pinata Pocket? It's like a pocket edition on DS, 3DS.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
2,
I can, I guess.
there's a game called SpongeBob SquarePantis or Atlantis SquarePantis, and I kind of want to play that game.
Got you, buddy.
Are you a trophy hunter? Is that what you're doing?
Do they have trophies on DS?
Oh no.
Do
no,
they?
no.
Do they have any
Oh my
achievements?
God.
Anyways, well,
It's topic for
as
another day.
we're wrapping it up, I would just kind of like to go around. I've stated my favorite video game story, which is The Last of Us, and you've said BioShock Infinite for you. That's
I've got a couple, yeah,
For sure.
So all the BioShock games I think have fantastic stories. So if you're looking for just a really good story, go there. I think Dishonored has a pretty cool story as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
And then
I like that world.
Yes, it's a very, very cool world. And then The Wolf Among Us, Telltale
Yeah.
game, I think had a really, really cool story as well. Another one that I just got really drawn into. And then finally, Persona.
Mhm.
Persona 4 and 5.
Very Japanese.
Yeah, are fantastic stories. So
How about you?
So I touched on Mass Effect
Mhm.
and all those. God of War, I felt like they had decent stories. I got pretty involved into those ones. Titanfall was one that I didn't expect, but I really...
I don't think anyone
Dude.
expected that.
Titanfall 2's campaign was awesome.
The ending of that game
Mhm.
was epic. Like, you got those 2 weapons, and you're like, did not see this coming. And then you just...
that homing pistol?
Yes, which speaking of, I saved up my currency and I unlocked that for multiplayer. So I'm just like, well, I'm not good at shooting, so I'm just gonna pull this out whenever I can, poof, 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 and like, just kills
Oh my.
it. That's a great pistol. But yeah, even the first Dragon Age, that one had a really solid story. And Fallout 3. Fallout 3, I got pretty...
Fallout 4? I'm just kidding. No.
Hell no, because it was like the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fallout 3 has those ones they're all solid.
Yeah.
Wii bowling.
What'd you say?
He said Wii bowling.
Oh, Weebo. Yeah, very great story right there. And you said Uncharted.
Uncharted.
You
Yeah,
stand
the
by
Uncharted
that.
series, Uncharted 4
Last
mainly.
of Us
Yeah.
as well.
The ending to Uncharted 4 was an emotional one for people who have played all 4 games. It's a good game. It's very good. That was my game of the year last year.
I just truthfully said to myself, I hope they don't
I
do
don't
like a
want them to.
spin-off with Nathan Drake's daughter.
Nope.
I was like, no, just
Nope.
make it done. The one that they're coming out with later
Lost
this
Legacy,
year.
yeah.
On characters like that, I'm like, hell yeah, that'll be awesome. Because then you'll see like a story that is aside from her interacting with Drake, not Jersey Drake, but Nathan Drake, and that'll be sweet, cool to see.
Oh, a story that knows what kind of story it is. Doom. How they just are kind of like,
Yeah.
this is what it is, but we're gonna joke a lot about this, and it just like a lot of people talked about the music and how on the intro the music just like kicks in. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'll be truthfully honest. Don't even know the story for that game.
Me either.
Just gotta be honest. I use that game to just play and get the
Just
trophies.
destroy.
It was fun. I probably will go back and play that game though, and all I know is that there's demons and that there's hell and stuff like that. So every Doom game ever.
And Jack Black's just right there playing with the devil at all times.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll wrap things up here, but do you guys want to do shout-outs this week? What do you?
Let's kill it.
Jake, how about you?
I don't know. Ben and I are about to go watch some wrestling, so shout out to
Alexa.
Shout out to all the fake
shout out
wrestling.
to Alexa Bliss. I really hope she takes what's rightfully hers tonight.
What would that be?
The WWE Women's Championship.
Belt?
Yep.
Mhm.
Do you actually wear the belt though?
Mhm.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I've only ever seen them just go like this.
No, yeah, they. My buddy Josh has.
They tuck it in there.
He has a replica
Belts.
WWE belt,
Oh, he does.
and
Jesus
it's
Christ.
heavy and it is hard to put on.
Yeah.
So
They weren't.
kudos to them.
It looks like a giant chastity belt.
I would just wear that in public everywhere.
Trust me, that's not a chastity belt. I would have to say, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris. Him and his company Chowza, which is a puppy chow, is doing really well. But they just finished up their poll and they're going to be doing, I believe it was s'mores. And I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but yeah, they're going to keep coming out with these different flavors, and he's doing really well. So shout out to them. And
It is delicious puppy chow.
yeah, absolutely. And him and I are going to
I
work.
had it that one time.
Yeah, we're talking about working something out, so maybe we can get a
Cool.
discount code or some sort of
Put
contest.
that right under here. We
We don't have a like. Am I just supposed to say no discount code yet?
You should.
Stay tuned.
Can you please just put discount code coming down here, and I'll let him know.
Discount code Wheatus.
Yeah.
He's gonna watch this episode and be like, "Guys, I told you no discount code." No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even like you, Ben.
It's good puppy chow though, for
I think
real.
I had like one piece. But yeah, from what I can remember, it was,
It was good.
It's just like mama's.
It's just like mama.
Those are my running shoes.
Mama said those were my magic shoes.
Jesus Christ. You're done.
He had himself a guitar.
Lieutenant Dan Oscar.
Had myself
That's my
about
favorite one.
25 Dr. Peppers.
My shout out this week is gonna go to Inside.
Forrest
You know,
Gump.
we talked about it a lot. Forrest Gump. Talked about it a lot this episode, beginning the whole episode basically. But yeah,
So good.
if you haven't played it, I think you should. I think you should take the time. It's about a 5-hour long game if you're just going with the motions. But yeah, that's my shout out. How about you?
Sweet. So one thing you guys may not know is when it comes to movies, a lot of times if I haven't seen it in theaters or already been like, I need to go see this, I have like commitment issues. Like I'll turn it on and then like right away be like, I probably could be playing video games, and then I'll like go off and play video games or do like anything else. But lately we just have like our TV on and it just like is on whatever channel. I think lately it's been on MTV or some other channel. But these channels keep playing the Fast and the Furious movies, and it's like different ones. So I'm finally seeing like other than Tokyo Drift, which I've seen like 5+ times at this point. That's so good. That's quintessential to the series. But I literally for the first time saw the first one last night, and I was like, dude, this is lit, bro. Like I wouldn't say it was
Doesn't
like,
hold up.
no, not at all. But I actually enjoyed it. So shout out to the Fast and Furious series. Haven't seen the 8th one because my friend bailed on us and found better friends to watch it with.
Everyone, Jesus Christ!
But-
I took him for his birthday. You got Malkin.
It's fine. He didn't want to go out with all of us for his birthday. It's fine. I'm over it now because this song. Aw.
This is my fucking jam. All right. Well, thank you all for listening, watching. You know, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play. Just go ahead and search "Fit the Gamer" on those.
Right up here.
Yeah.
Other fine podcast services.
You can also find us on YouTube.com. Just search "Fit the Gamer." It'll pop up. We have
Stop.
We have full episodes. We have unboxings. We have gameplay. We're having Jesus Christ.
He's trying
You
to
can
learn.
edit this.
Yes.
And then we also do have an upcoming Gang Beast gameplay video coming out.
This week.
Very excited to
Hopefully.
show you guys this. It's very funny. It
Coming
should
soon,
be out.
hopefully.
Should it be out by the time this comes out, or should I not say that?
Hopefully.
Shit.
You know, it will be. You know when it'll be out?
When Gang Beasts for
Oh my.
PS4 comes out.
It's gonna be made.
That's tomorrow.
And now
It
we're
won't be out tomorrow.
copyrighted, you son of a bitch. Anyways,
The episode's
you want to
week for
say
sure.
something? You keep putting
If
your.
this is the gang, if Gang Beast is out, it will be right here. This square right there.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.
Money in the bank.